First Amendment is comprised of what is known as the five freedoms. Okay? Peaceful assembly, press, and the right to petition the government for redress of grievances. What's the operative word in peaceful assembly?
Peaceful.
Peaceful. What's been happening recently in New York City?
Protest.
Lots of people protesting, Corpus Reed, and all kinds of things like that. Okay? A lot of people have been arrested. Why were they being arrested? Were they violent?
Yeah.
Were they breaking store windows?
Yeah.
Were they threatening police officers? No. Then why were they being arrested?
Destroying public property.
Okay. Part of the thing about it is you can take a lot of different things. The police could go, wait a minute. Okay, this is a health code violation. This is a fire code violation. Okay, and it's a way of controlling and things like that. Okay, so peaceful assembly also has a little bit of a gray area. Can the press print anything that they want to?
No.
It has to be what? It has to be true. Okay. This is the one that's most often mistaken by people. The right to petition the government for a redress of grievances. To petition means to ask. Okay, this does not mean that you have the right to circulate petitions to be signed. Okay, what it means is that if you were to ask the governor, you know what, we need to have more funding for the city of Poway. Okay, please do this. You can do that without fear of what? That he's going to send people to beat you up. That's what that means. Okay, a redress of grievances means please fix my problem. Okay, I need a new stop sign. I need more police protection, anything like that. Okay? The last part of the First Amendment is going to be dealing with the Establishment Clause. Could President Obama come out tomorrow and say the official religion of the United States is Presbyterian? No. No. Why not? Okay, the Establishment Clause. This has also been interpreted by the courts to indicate a separation of church and state. What does that mean? Yes.
You're not allowed, teachers aren't allowed to tell their students to be Christian.
There you go. What's been going on at Westview recently?
Oh, a teacher had some signs up that mentioned God and stuff, and they told him to take all the signs that had anything to do with God down.
Exactly. He refused to do so, hired a lawyer. It went up to the U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. He lost. He was either told to take them down or he'd be terminated. As far as I know, I think he lost his job, right? Okay. So what? So we have some posters. What's the big deal?
It's a public school, and it's funded by the government, and his check is therefore by the government, and that would insinuate that the government proclaims that religion as theirs.
Do you guys have to be here?
Yes.
Yes, you do, by law. You're what is known as a captive audience. Okay, therefore, are there certain things that you might not necessarily have to be exposed to? Yeah. Okay, let's say every day, right, I come up and say, you know what? English is a hard class. Let us pray for divine guidance. Would that make some of you uncomfortable? Yeah, it probably would, right? Okay, so, am I allowed to do things like that? No. What about if I came on the intercom and said, it is now, I know whenever we do announcements, part of the announcements, I go, let's take 1 minute for quiet reflection and prayer. I didn't say anything. Could I do that? If the time allotted is specifically done for a religious nature, the court has said it does not include that.
Or if you said or prayer.
Nope.
Did you just say quiet reflection?
Yes. Okay. Is there prayer in schools? Yes. There'll be prayer in schools as long as there are tests. Okay. Yes.
So you should be request that you can't print anything that's not true. Why can they print things like the 4th of July,
Well, because if you look at it, there's always disclaimers and stuff. You know what I mean? According to the third-party source,
on Facebook that isn't true. You're on social
Trouble, what's in trouble? Legal trouble?
Yeah, I guess.
I guess you could, if it's slanderous, yeah, but damages somebody's reputation. Yeah.
What if you like meet anyone legally?
Like, what about like the woman who, bullied the girl and she ended up killing herself? Okay, so the other day, I was on my way home, right? I got home, I walk out of my truck, I'm walking up to my front door, and the next thing I know, my feet were flying out from under me, and I was flat on the ground, smack. Bang my head, I'm like going seeing stars. I'm like, how did I slip? I look down in the bottom of my shoe, and it's full of dog poo. And I'm like, ugh. And I turn and I look, and there in the corner of my yard is a dog, and it's like, and it's laughing at me. And it does this every day, this stupid dog. It's like a chihuahua with a poop sack about 18 feet long, right? Okay, and he comes and he poops in my yard. Okay, and I'm like so fed up with it. So that night, okay, I go upstairs, okay, I go up into my attic and I climb up on my roof and I take sandbags. And I put sandbags that make a big bunker on top of my roof. Okay, I set up a tripod and I put a 50 caliber machine gun on top. And I wait.
Overkill.
I wait for little Fluffy to come around the corner. Little Fluffy sticks his little head, and I can see him wagging his little butt. He comes around the corner, and I go, bup, 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 bup.
Problem solved.
Problem solved. Okay? Can I do this?
No,
You
Yeah.
can't own that type of gun.
Why not?
Because it's automatic.
Wait a minute. Whoa, 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 whoa,
It's
whoa.
excessive
Okay, Kelly, let's talk
force.
about this. What is the Second Amendment?
Right to bear arms.
The right to bear arms, the right to arm bears, something like that.
Everywhere.
It's my house and my other car.
Should have shot it with that.
This is me during World War II. All right, Kelly. Show me where up there it says that it says the people's right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Oh, unless is there a little asterisk over here that says I can't have my machine gun.
But you can't harm anyone.
I didn't harm anyone. I harmed
No.
a stupid dog.
Animals are people too.
Animals are people too.
animals are guilty.
They have feelings.
Well, not anymore.
The Second Amendment was made in mind with like government infractions, like they're trying to take your property. You have the right to keep a certain cache of weapons to defend your own property. It doesn't mean that you can now run around with a 50 caliber sniper rifle in your back seat.
You are defending your property from a dog.
Yes.
There are regulations, like you have to sign up for, it takes like 4 months for you to get your own established gun, like your
Excuse me? Show me where it says that.
It doesn't say that.
Ah. It's implied.
Well, it doesn't say
And in fact, a lot of guns have to be like certain types.
Show me.
If you kill someone, that breaks the law. So there. Yeah.
Okay, then I just have it on my house and I just like sitting up there.
It could cause terror to the neighborhood.
It's obscene.
Why would you want
You
to
can't
terror?
let your gun like that besides. If you just left it up there with all the weather and shit, you polish it.
There are other ways to keep it on.
It's an obscene.
Alright. Okay, like I was saying, okay, when the Second Amendment was written, why was it written like this? It's a protection against what? Not so much even Indians. It's a protection against an abusive government. Okay, and things like that. So that's part of the reason it was done. Okay, does this mean every Tom, Dick, and Harry can have a bazooka? No. Okay, so the government over time, the states and the federal government have placed limitations. Stop and think about this. Okay, did George Washington and the founding fathers have any concept of automatic weapons? No, the rate of fire for a expert rifleman during the American Revolution was approximately 2 to 3 rounds per minute. Okay, not hundreds of rounds per minute. Okay, so this whole idea, I mean, like, Washington would have sold his soul for a 50 cal, the Battle of Long Island. Come on, Redcoats. Okay, so when you're looking at this, okay, have we made changes? Yes. Is it still very controversial? Yeah. Okay, not too long ago, I was like reading a Big Five like flyer, and I looked through there, and they had for sale a Chinese SKS assault rifle, 7.62 millimeter. Okay, semi-automatic, which means it fired as fast as you could pull the trigger, had a magazine capable of 8 rounds, had a folding paratrooper stock, and a fold-out bayonet.
What?
Okay, for a whopping price of like $175.
And you bought it.
No.
You missed out.
Okay, now, think about that, $175, that's nothing, okay? What are you going to do? Fold-out bayonet? What are you going to stab? Bam, get it down. Ah! Here's for Thumper 2. Ah! The thing that everybody overlooks on this is this one, for a well-regulated militia. What is a militia?
Like an army, a small army.
It's a citizen's army. Today that citizen's army would be called what? The National Guard. Okay, so this is still very controversial. What can you have? What kind of weapons can you have? What kind of ammunition that you can have? Things like that. Okay, get a knock on the door. Okay, so a bunch of Marines from Camden will say, hey, can I spend the night at your house?
Sure.
You can say what?
Yes.
I
No,
recommend
why
not.
not? Prohibits the quartering of soldiers in homes. This is a direct reaction to the quartering acts. Okay, is this something we truly use today? No. What's that? Okay, so I'm tooling around the room here, okay? As I'm walking around, I happen to notice, okay, Hunter's backpack. He's got a whole bunch of marijuana leaves on there, okay? So I'm looking at it, I go over there and I take a little bit closer and go, oh, I think I smell the ganja, okay?
Like actual marijuana leaves on his backpack?
No, just drawn. Okay, and marker and stuff like that. But I come by and I smell the unmistakable odor of marijuana. Okay, I grab his backpack and I dump out the contents and I start going through it. Can I do this?
No.
Yeah.
Yes, I can.
Who's your teacher? And did you in school?
Because it's a lawful search.
Okay. What makes it lawful?
Because you can smell it, like you can. It's not.
Because there's a concept known as in loco parentis, which means in place of the parent. Which means while you were at school, I am your mama and your daddy. Don't ask me for allowance. Okay, no, I mean, because your parents have to get a search warrant to like search your dresser.
No.
No, they don't. Okay, now, I'm being a little bit facetious on this. Okay, would something like that happen? No. Okay, what would happen is I would call security, and they would take it up, and then the deputy sheriff and the folks up there, they could deal with it. Okay, it's just like this. You guys have seen the drug dogs when they come on campus, right?
Yeah.
Do the dogs have a search warrant? Okay, so as they're going through the classroom, they don't have to. Why? Because you're in school. And the most important thing about being in school is preserving your what? Safety. And the learning environment. However, for most of the time, the police have to have search warrants. Okay? Can the police just walk up to you, look at you, and go, hey, you look like a dirtbag, dope-smoking punk kid? Over on the curb and spread them. Can they do that? Sure. No. Only if you're in Arizona. There is no proof, there is no profiling. It doesn't exist. Yeah. Right.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, we're running out of time, so we're gonna go through this really quickly. The Fifth Amendment are laws regarding life, liberty, and property. There's a lot of them. Grand jury indictments. If you are arrested by the police, they have to convene a grand jury on serious crimes to make sure there's enough evidence to hold you over for the trial. Okay, the next one, eminent domain. Knock on the door. You open the door, there's the man in the suit. He says, "Good evening, I'm from the government." Okay, we're going to put a super freeway through your living room. Okay, you have about 60 days to vacate and to check for your house. Can they do that? Yes. Eminent domain is the policy of taking private property for the public good. Now, do they have to have a valid reason? Yes. Do they have to pay you fair market value? Yes. If they widen the roads and they take off of some people's front yards, do they have to pay them for it? Yeah. But they're still going to do it. What's double jeopardy?
You can't be charged with the same time.
Okay, same crime twice. Self-incrimination, this is the famous what? I plead the fifth. You don't have to testify against yourself. Okay, just say, I plead the fifth, and you don't have to talk. Due process of law is nothing more than the government has to follow the rules. Okay? Okay, Sixth Amendment. You have a right to a fair, speedy, and public trial by a jury of your peers. Okay, you have the right to face your accuser, you have the right to an attorney. You have the right to call your own witnesses. Do the Fifth and Sixth Amendments sound kind of familiar to a lot of you who watch like cop shows?
Yeah.
What is that called? The Miranda rights, very good. Okay? You have the right to
Remain silent. Anything you
need
would
not
say.
answer any questions, etc., etc., etc. Okay, some of you probably know this a little bit better than others. I'm just kidding, I'll be an answer later. Okay, so what they're doing in there is, remember, our criminal justice system is designed to protect the innocent. All right, there are a whole lot of safeguards in there. Sometimes, I mean, we don't think it is, but it is compared to most of the rest of the world. Okay. The Seventh Amendment is pretty much just the Sixth Amendment, except in civil cases. What's the difference between a criminal case and a civil case?
If you've breached a law set down by the government, it's a criminal case, but a civil case is just something where you have a problem with someone else.
Can they both be the same thing?
Mhm.
So when I had the gun, could the police arrest me for shooting that gun and owning that automatic weapon? Yes. Could I also be sued by my neighbor next door for destroying his dog? Yes, I could. Okay, so that would be an example. O.J. Simpson. Okay, civil court, criminal court. Guilty in one, innocent in the other. The Eighth Amendment prohibits cruel and unusual punishment and excessive fines of bills. You go down to the 7-Eleven and shoplift a pack of gum. Can they chop off your arm? No. Okay, this isn't Saudi, right? So that's not going to happen, right? What is cruel and unusual punishment, though? Torturing? Like waterboarding? Oh, hello, Guantanamo Bay. Okay. So what is it? How do you define it? Is it kind of a gray area? Is lethal injection cruel and unusual punishment?
No, because it's painless.
It's like going to sleep.
Is firing squad cruel and unusual?
Yes.
I think there are 2 states that still use firing squads as methods of execution. There's about 12 states that do not allow capital punishment. What do I consider capital punishment and cruel and unusual? A duet sung by Nixon and Elvis.
Wait, really?
Love me tender, love me short. What movie? That's a good movie, actually. It's really good. I thought you were going to say Dick. Anybody's ever seen that? The Ninth and 10th Amendments are catch-alls. Okay, the Ninth Amendment says rights that are not specifically listed in the Constitution are still there for the people. So just because it hasn't been written doesn't mean you still can't be protected.
Bless you. Bless you.
Yes, you know. Okay, the last one is the 10th Amendment. This one says that the powers not specifically given to the federal government nor denied to the states belong to the states for the people. Okay, for example,
Bless you.
okay, Congress is given the right to raise an army. That's also denied to the states. Okay, states cannot make peace treaties, separate peace treaties with other countries. But there are still powers that belong to the states. Things like the licensing of professionals, teachers, doctors, lawyers, marriage licenses, auto licenses, and things like that. Okay, are there any questions about anything that we talked about so far today? Okay, there is a test tomorrow. Tomorrow's the multiple choice portion of the test. I suggest that you go home and you seek guidance. Okay. Right?
That's like.
Also, a good Halloween